What up, guys and ghouls? Welcome to another episode of Fright Mic, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm Sam.
I'm Liz.
And today we have the pleasure of having Nina from the Bloody Essentials podcast on with us today to talk about Darkness Falls from 2003.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
We are very excited, especially to have this little gem here.
I know. What a movie to come on for.
I know.
Yep, we're starting.
I'm excited.
Heck yes.
Yeah, we're starting our Fear of the Dark month. So we're happy that you're on for the first episode of the month.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the theme was for this one because I know you guys do themes, but I started watching the movie and we can get into it, but I just remember I was like, this seems so familiar, and then I was like, I wonder why I blocked it out.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Yes, bringing you out of the darkness and into the light. Pun intended.
True.
Yeah. So you have seen this before then?
I think so.
Okay. What was the first time you saw this? Do you remember?
So this movie came out in 2003. According to the IMDb score, has a 5 out of 10.
Oh, and it's got a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, so the Rotten Tomatoes are rotten.
Rotting.
Yes.
So
yes, they are
enough,
rotted.
I remember watching this movie when it came out. I don't know if I saw it in theaters or not. I can't really remember that, but I was friends with somebody who I'm not friends with anymore, but she hyper fixated on this movie and literally made me watch it over and over and over again. So I've seen this movie quite a bit, around the time it came out. But flash forward to yesterday when I rewatched it for this episode. And let me tell you, it didn't really hold up at all. Not that it held up then, but I don't know. Yeah, that was the first time I watched it before. And it was interesting to revisit it. I'll just say that.
Yeah. I didn't actually see this movie until COVID. First time I watched it was 2020. My brother had seen it in the theater with my mom, and I remember her saying he was so scared. He had the popcorn bucket over his head the whole time, and so I never really sought it out. I just was like, oh, okay, and I don't know why. And then during COVID, I watched it. According to Letterboxd, I gave it 3 stars. So rewatching it for the podcast, I said, wow, 3 stars was crazy because this is not, it's not great. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask, was your friend really upset with you and that's why they just kept making you rewatch it?
I don't know. She was just a person that would hyper fixate on the most random movies. I remember she always wanted to watch 8 Mile. Yeah, going from Darkness Falls to 8 Mile, and she so I've seen 8 Mile a million times, and unfortunately I've seen this movie a million times. But it was just funny revisiting it because it's been literally so long since 2003 or maybe 2004 since I've seen it. So I was like, wow. And with a runtime of an hour and 20 minutes, I was like, okay, because we here at Fright Mic enjoy a short runtime.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about a short runtime. Okay, good. We're on the same page.
Yeah, no. For horror, it needs to be short. For any other movie, it depends on what it is. There's some really great movies that are longer, but usually for horror, if we could just do an hour and a half, we're good.
Very true. There are so few horror movies that I'm like, man, I wish I had more of this.
Yeah.
Most of it, it's an hour and a half.
Very rarely.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
I feel almost every episode we say, oh, we love this movie, but it could have been a half hour.
Yeah, this could have been an email.
Yeah, this could have been an email.
Oh yeah, this could have just been a trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. Darkness Falls. If Darkness Falls was a short film, it wouldn't be too bad. It would have been
a great movie. Yeah,
I agree.
That's the thing about it, because it's not the concept of this movie is not bad, because how many evil tooth fairy movies are there? I don't
Yeah.
know. Like the lore behind it, I think is good. The way that it's executed is where it falls flat for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Especially because it lives in the early 2000s horror era.
Yeah. Which I
Yeah.
mean, I love, but it
I
It's
that
hit
was
or miss, man.
excited.
yeah.
I was excited. I was like, "Ooh, we got our punk rock music. We're edgy. We're
Yeah,
cool."
right. Yeah.
And then it just like progressed, and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, I mean, honestly, like the cold open, or I guess not cold open, but like the opening of this movie where they set up the lore, I was like, oh damn, this is a banger.
Yeah.
And then from there, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess let's
man.
let's get into it, right? Because it opens
Yeah.
with the lore of Matilda Dixon, who was called the Tooth Fairy of Darkness Falls, because if children in the neighborhood lost a tooth, she'd give them a gold coin, which that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting anyway.
She's the town witch.
Yeah, crazy. I don't know about that one. That's a little invasive, but yeah. So she basically she basically gets burned in a fire, and then when two children go missing, they immediately blame it on her
Yeah.
for whatever
For no
reason.
reason.
Yeah,
So they burn her. Or like, yeah, right?
yeah.
They
Well,
burn
they
her.
hang her,
They hang her. Sorry,
They
yeah,
hang her, yeah.
yeah, she got burned first and then she got hung. And then they end up finding the two kids.
and the whole town was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, whoops, oops, a
Yeah.
daisy," and they cover it up. I will say though, because the person narrating the opening, and I told you this too, the quote is, "What I took before in kindness, I will take forever in revenge." And I said that is such a cold line for such a shit movie.
Oh my God. I wrote that quote down too. I was like, that is beautiful. It does not deserve to be in this movie.
I agree. I agree. I said, "Oh man, that's some Edgar Allan Poe type shit. What is it doing
Right?
here?" Yeah.
That's some,
They
like
spent all their
genre too.
energy on that opening scene.
They literally, yes, all the budget went to the opening like 10 minutes of this movie.
And the 10 minutes are good.
Yeah.
Like the 10 minutes, the
Yeah.
first 10 minutes are good. And then after that, I don't
Mhm.
know what happened.
Yeah, because then we meet our main kid, or I said our main character, whose name is Kyle. And he
Mhm.
is a child and he's lost a tooth. And I don't know. It like falls apart immediately. Because he's got a crush on some girl named Caitlin who sneaks in and then sneaks out. And then he's attacked by the Tooth Fairy. And then his mom's a dumb bitch.
Oh, so dumb.
I just gotta say. Because she's like, oh, go to bed. And then he wakes up. And while she hears commotion in the room, right? Because this like tooth fairy has attacked this boy, and she's walking down. There's no lights on in the house, so you would think the open bathroom door with the lights on, she would be like, "Oh, he's in there." But she's creeping down the hallway, and then when he pops out of the bathroom, she's like, "Oh God!" Like a jump scare.
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
I also had to look this up while like I paused the movie to look this up because this kid when the girl comes through his window, like his little girlfriend, she says like, "Oh, do you want to go?" Like he asked her to the school dance. So that makes me wonder how old he is. And then it made me think about how old you are when you lose your last baby teeth. Because I'm like, he looks a
Yeah.
little old to still have baby teeth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
was about
apparently
to say that. Yeah.
Yes.
6 to 12, really?
6 to 12
Wow.
is what the internet says. But I don't
These
know.
kids looked like they were 14, 15.
That's what I was
Right.
thinking. I'm like, he looks a little old to be having baby teeth still, or to even like believe in the tooth fairy, kind of.
Well, and let's just say
Yeah.
too that let's just say, for the sake of argument, that he is 12. The movie does flash forward ahead 12 years, so that would make them 24,
Mhm.
and this man is 38.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
his face pissed me off so bad.
Yes, yes. I said this man is 40 years old.
He's got so many folds in him.
Yes.
But
It's
just
wild.
to like jump, sorry, let's go
No,
back
jump
to the
in, yeah.
beginning. I actually like how she looks, how she's like all billowy, when like she snatches up the mom or kills the mom. And then he's like hiding in the bathroom because that's where like the only light is. But the way that she looks is pretty cool. She's like, just like a little ghosty
Yeah.
floating around. And she has a porcelain
Yeah.
mask.
It's giving Calabar.
I like that
from
they
Halloween
kept the
Town.
porcelain mask.
Yeah, that
What's
was a
that?
nice touch.
Oh, I said it's giving Calabar from Halloween Town to me.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes. I'm here for
Flowiness?
it.
Yeah, the billowiness.
The billowiness.
Yes.
Yeah, female Calabar.
Yeah, jump to 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years
and
ahead.
yeah, so we have adult Kyle and adult Kat, or Caitlin, whatever we're calling her.
Yeah. And Kyle lives in
Vegas, which is actually smart because he's a grown man who's still afraid of the dark because he's still being haunted/hunted by this tooth fairy. So in order to escape the dark, he's living in the only place that never sleeps.
That's true.
I guess other than
I
Newport.
didn't even think of that to be honest. I never even thought of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a because
Yeah, but it makes
makes sense.
sense.
Yeah, because he says he
Yeah.
works in a casino, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's first of all, there's no windows, it's
Yeah.
all lighting.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
you never know what time of day it is. Yeah,
That's true.
that's perfect.
But I want to know, like, this is where, like, kind of like the lore. I was questioning things because I'm like, okay, he lost his baby tooth. She's after him. Like, at what point is she not going to be after him anymore?
Yeah, and she
Because I
seems
know
to be
this-
able to travel.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, it seems very strange that she's still following him after all this time. Like, for what?
Right.
Right.
Like, why?
Why have you? Yeah.
And
Why have
how
you chosen?
how has he evaded her this whole time? Especially like as a kid, potentially being locked down in a psych ward.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. There's no way they would have let him keep a light on.
There's a lot of plot holes here. There's a lot of plot holes.
And aren't there other kids losing teeth? Why isn't she going after them instead?
Yes.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
because even like later in the movie when he's like locked up in the jail or whatever, he's like, oh, she's heading towards Michael, the little kid.
Right.
So like that makes me think that okay, like she's not just gonna like Jason Voorhees herself everywhere. Like she actually has to float away to wherever she's gonna go next.
Right, well, and that's the thing too, is how can she simultaneously be in Vegas torturing Kyle while attached to this Michael?
Because the curse that she has is only in Darkness Falls.
Right. And he says to
It's
the cop at the end, it's problematic for sure.
Yeah, and all the other
Yeah.
kids. So does that mean like no kid survives in this town?
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
there's adults. Like, how did they get away with it?
It makes no
You know what I
sense.
mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Well, at one point Kyle asks them, he's like, how like have you not noticed all these missing person cases and these mysterious murders and everything? And it's like, nope, sure haven't. Small town, not concerned.
Not concerned. Haven't noticed. I'm blind in one eye, so
Not my concern.
I don't do
Right.
my job.
yeah, right? I'm just here for the, for the good looks. I don't really do anything. It's crazy. Yeah, and like you said, how does anybody become an adult if, like, when you lose your last tooth and this tooth fairy attacks you?
Yeah, that
What's the
doesn't make
deal?
sense to me. I don't know. But we also meet Kat. So this is still 12 years later. We meet Kat, the girl from the beginning, whose little brother is, I guess, suffering from
Night terrors?
insane night terrors, and is now being hospitalized because he like can't sleep. And she's trying to figure out like what's going on with him, and the only person that she knows that has this whole affliction is Kyle. So she like has to reach out to Kyle to be like, how did you get over this? And he's like, I didn't.
Perfect.
As he's packing his tote bag of or his duffel bag full of flashlights.
Yeah. This man's got issues. And he's like,
To say the least. Yeah.
exactly. He's on like what, antidepressants?
Oh, he's got a whole smorgasbord of pills.
Yeah. And he decides he's
Yeah,
gonna go
at least 5 pills a day.
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, as a 45-year-old grown man, I will be going back to Darkness Falls to help this child. And he goes back. Like, the premise of this movie of him always having to stay in light, how does that work? I don't understand. And how much light do you need? Because there are so many times in this movie where there's like barely a source of light and she can't get him.
Mhm.
But other times she's directly in light and she can snatch people up out of nowhere. Like, especially at the end.
True.
She's like literally
Yeah.
in the direct light. And so like I'm just thinking like, with a plane, they turn the lights out at night,
Well, also
like
like
in the cabin.
is it just like because I know she can't go out during the day because that's daylight, but what about like moonlight?
Right.
You know what I mean?
What are the
That's still light.
stipulations?
It's still light. But she's floating around at night. I don't know.
Right. What are the stipulations for this curse?
Where do we draw the line?
We have no lines. We draw them where we can.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So he goes back to Darkness Falls to maybe help Michael out, although within like 10 minutes he's like, "No, I can't help him." I'm like, "You traveled all
Yeah.
this way just to be
Yeah,
like, no,
it's
dude."
I love how at first he's just like, "Nah, this kid is it's definitely not the same thing. Definitely not." And then he sees the drawings. He's like, "All right, it's the same thing."
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Well, color me
"Really, dude?"
shocked. You would
Right?
think, yeah, you would think he would suspend his disbelief and be like, "I'll humor the kid. It's these drawings are what really do it for you." Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Well, and like if you weren't convinced to begin with, why would you take a cross like cuz I imagine with a lighthouse like that, it would
Mhm.
take place probably East Coast, right? That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
And you're flying
Yeah.
from Vegas to somewhere along the East Coast for what? If you don't believe the kid.
Well, if you're not gonna even try to
Exactly.
believe him.
Right. Like it makes no sense.
So weird.
But whatever.
Nothing about this movie makes sense.
I know that's the thing. I think we just need to suspend our disbelief
Yeah.
and then try to just get through it.
I also love too how he comes back into town. He's in town and like Darkness Falls, this like made up town, is so small supposedly that when he comes back in town, he's in town for maybe 6 hours, and they go to the local shithole bar, and these people are like, "Ugh, Kyle, I haven't heard that name in years." Like it's like he's a celebrity returning home. Like
You're the kid who
Who's the
killed his
kid?
mom.
so many kids have gone missing, but this kid, they're like, "Oh, that piece of shit." You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Who is this kid?
Well, yeah, because that guy just like randomly starts getting into a fight with him. Like he's like, "Oh, I'm a big tough man. How dare you come back here?" And is like fighting him, and then they go fight outside, and
Yeah.
the guy gets yeeted from the tooth fairy.
Yeah. Well, and why is it
Yeah.
that every movie about a small town, they always have like the same bar? Do you notice that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's always the same shithole bar with like 3 pool tables and dark wood and like a Miller Lite sign.
And shitty, I was gonna say shitty beer.
Yeah.
Very shitty beer, yeah. Like you
Yeah.
can just smell it in your mind. Like it definitely
Definitely.
smells like piss.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
You can smell that bar just by looking at it.
You can.
Oh
I think-
yeah.
I think I've been in that bar several times, you
I
know?
think I've passed out in that bar.
I think so. And it's always the locals hanging around, like they have they literally nothing better to do.
Well, yeah, they must not because he just starts fighting him.
I know.
But then, so the guy dies,
Yeah.
the guy who he's fighting, and so the cops immediately come and they're like, "You killed him."
You know, for a town that doesn't care about kids dying and going missing all the time, they react very fast to
Yeah.
this situation.
The guy
Yes.
has like scratch marks down his face.
And they're like, clearly it was
Yeah.
this guy.
Clearly, it was that guy. We got to go find him because
Yeah.
Kyle ends up running.
It like you said,
As you do.
Yeah.
it's so crazy how like for a town that refuses to investigate missing children over several, I would say maybe 100 years at this point,
Yeah.
one stranger comes into town, they're like, "Well, he's a murderer, we got to lock him up."
It's definitely that guy.
Yeah. It's guilty until proven innocent, and it's you. You know, we got to put him
Although that
away.
is stereotypically that is how it usually works in a small town. I don't know about how in reality, but
True.
yeah.
It's outsider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked
Yeah.
at me funny, you know?
My grandma's from a small town. She lives in a smaller town outside of an already small town. And it's funny because I will roll in like 2 times a year, and when I stop to get gas or like pick something up from the grocery store, it really is. It's like,
oh jeez.
yeah, it's like I feel like the Children of the Corn where they're shouting Outlander at him. That's what I feel like.
Does your family know that that you're back in town before you even can tell them that you're back.
Yeah. No,
They
truly.
sense
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. My
The
grandma,
winds shift.
the town crier's calling my grandma
wind
like,
shift.
oh yeah, exactly. It's
It's
crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I guess for a small town it makes sense that they're like, "Oh, the outsider, he did it." Immediately guilty.
Well, yeah, and they know where he's going because he runs back to the hospital to tell Kat, like, hey, don't do any more tests on Michael. He's telling the truth. And the cops, like, meet him at the hospital and they're like, you're coming with us. And they detain him.
I feel like there's a lot of back and forth too
There is
between
back and
like
forth.
it's like Caitlyn, they meet at the hospital, then he's in jail, then she's in the jail with him, and when he's getting hauled away, she's like, I have to go check on my brother. It's like, well, what were you doing? But when did you leave?
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I got confused for a second because why all of a sudden are you gone? And she's like, I have to go back and check on my brother. Why did you leave him?
Well, he also gets arrested more than
No.
once.
Yeah.
He does. That's what threw me. I was like, why are you getting arrested like 2-3 times almost, it seems like.
In
Like,
one
right.
night.
it was very weird. And Caitlyn just drove me absolutely insane. Like, it was either I need to go check on my brother or you're right, I'm gonna do what you told me to do. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. She
Yeah.
had no other choices in this movie.
She has
That was it.
Yeah, two modes.
Yeah, that's it. She's
She
like, whatever you say is best, Doc. And then it's like, Kyle tells her to do something else, and she's like, okay, that sounds good.
right.
Yeah.
she's
Like, she's given up like all of her hope and she's like, you know what? I haven't seen this dude in 12 years. He was in a psych ward, but maybe he knows what's best for my my brother. I want to keep calling him her kid, but no, it's her brother.
It was giving
Yeah.
like Derek Zoolander, like models are smart. No, they're not. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially so that lawyer guy, Larry, right? Is
Yeah.
his name? He
Yeah,
bailed
Larry.
Kyle out the first time. And he's like, drive me back to the hospital. And Larry doesn't drive him back to the hospital. And he's taking him God knows where.
Out of town.
For God
Yeah.
knows what reason. And something falls on Larry's car, which I feel like causes them to crash. And then Larry gets taken by this tooth fairy for whatever reason. Because what is her reason for targeting these people?
Well,
Can we talk about that?
I was just gonna say, like, what's the point? What's the point of that? Because they've done nothing to her.
Right.
Nothing.
Same thing with like the local guy at the bar. So the local guy attacked Kyle, and that was grounds for getting killed?
Right. Like,
there's
how are
the-
they, if anything, they're helping you get to Kyle. So
Right.
I
There's
don't
the-
understand.
There's that
don't
rule
get it.
about like if you look at her face, she gets you. But to me, it doesn't make sense because then wouldn't everybody be
But they
dead?
never saw her.
Right.
Exactly. They never saw her until she showed up.
It's like this is like the Kmart version of Dead Silence, you know, where it's like Beware the Stare of Mary Shaw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so. Well, I think I'm under the understanding of that they lose their baby tooth, and if they look at her, then she gets them.
Yes.
But all of the
Yes.
people in this town have lost baby teeth, except for the kids, I guess. So I guess if they look at her, but then wouldn't everybody be dead? Wouldn't she be hunting everybody every night?
Right. Well, and if she's an evil entity, like, you know, when you're taking teeth, we assume in this movie, right, from below the pillow, the children are asleep.
Mhm.
So does she then only go after the ones that wake up and look at her and catch her in the act, or what?
Then why is she killing out all the adults?
I don't know.
What the hell?
That is interesting. Yeah, that makes no sense if you think about her quote from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's like, what I took out of kindness, I now take out of revenge. So it's like, yeah, maybe she is haunting only the kids that are awake. Like, that's messed up.
Right. That's crazy. And I'm a light sleeper,
Yeah.
so I would be scred.
I would actually.
Oh,
be
I'm
safe.
not. I'd be safe.
No.
I'd be safe.
I would be safe because
You live to tell the tale.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I actually still have a
I've-
baby tooth. Yeah.
Really?
So I would be safe in this
I can't
situation.
tell you how many times I would go to sleep with the tooth underneath my pillow and then I'd wake up and the money was there and I don't even remember anything. So I'd be fine.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But
Man,
Deep sleeper.
I was such a light sleeper that my mom she sewed like a little pouch. She's like, "Oh, when you lose a tooth, put it in here and leave it in the kitchen." and in the morning you'll have money in there. Because the one time she tried to sneak money under my pillow, and I was like, I caught you, bitch. What are you doing?
My God.
I've always been
She
such a like.
tried.
She tried. She, and God bless her. Bless her for trying. You know.
God.
Leave it in the kitchen and you'll magically have a quarter tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
I also think it's really funny when she does like snatch people up. She just like floats away with them.
Yeah.
Like we never,
Yeah.
other than the people that she like drops, we just like never see half of these people again. They just get carried away.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think she does with them? Does she eat them? Like what? What
I don't
happens to
know.
them?
It seems like from the couple victims that we have seen, and like with the way that she treats Michael, and then even Kyle in the beginning, she just seems to be like a row, like a scratchy. She just
She
leaves
breaking
scratches.
necks? I
I don't
never see her
know.
like actually like like she's not killing anybody. I mean, she is, but we don't see
I
it.
I think ultimately that's the issue with this movie. It's not the plot holes. I could get past the plot holes, but there's not enough of the Tooth Fairy, and I need more of
Yeah,
that.
I
Definitely.
definitely agree
Like
because
when you've got a character this beautiful to look at and like just so sinister and cool looking, like why don't we get more of the character? Like let's see this villain.
yeah,
But
Exactly.
and I
alas, I'm stuck looking at Kyle's ugly forehead.
Yeah, exactly. And the amount of times that they say, Get in the light. Don't go in the dark. Get in the light." I said, "Man, if I have to hear stay in the light one more time, like if it was one of those games, like a drinking game, every time he says stay in the light, you take a shot, you would be dead.
yeah.
Literally, how many times
Yeah,
do you have
for
to tell me to
sure.
stay in the light?" Right. Like, homeboy, I got it.
Oh my god.
You could just listen to this movie and get the premise. You don't even have to watch it.
Exactly.
It is just a shame though that they didn't use more of her because she's like the coolest part of the movie and like you barely see her. She's always zipping by or like we get some glimpses of her face, I guess, like her mask, but I think it would have been cooler to just have her be like, I don't know. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
because it's like a PG-13 movie, so they were like, oh, and like budget restrictions or something, but I don't know. I wanted to
Maybe
see more
don't use a
kills.
CGI character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Maybe don't
or that.
CGI your main character.
Yeah.
That would
Hey,
help. That would help.
you know? Mhm.
Yeah, man, I wish like if this movie was similar to not Stay Alive,
Dead Silence.
Dead
Yeah,
Silence, it would be so much because there was
I
just
agree.
enough of the lore and just enough of the backstory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just this movie being, I guess the movie itself minus the 11-minute
Credits.
credits
Yeah.
is like what, an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We need more. I never say this. We need more movie.
We do need more movie. We need
Yeah.
more movie and better
We need some
quality.
editing.
Yes, we need
We need some
editing.
editing.
We need a
Yeah.
little more storyboarding, a little more editing, and a little more movie.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because like it really is like when it gets toward the end, when Kyle is in jail yet again, for whatever reason, he busts like there's basically a shootout, right? There's a shootout between the Tooth Fairy and the police at the
Well,
police
because
station.
the entire town loses power. So everything is in dark.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this big like rumble in the police station.
I just think
Yeah.
it's hysterical to me. It reminds me of that scene in what is it, Malignant?
Oh yeah. Oh my
Where that
god.
thing's like, have you seen Malignant?
Oh,
God.
unfortunately.
It was like that whole like police scene. It was like so wild. I was like, the fucking Tooth Fairy's having a shootout with these cops over this one wiener kid, Kyle. Like
Yeah.
all the
It's like
trouble.
just
Hand him over.
can't we just snatch Kyle already? Like why
Yes.
is it taking you 48 years?
She's a
Yeah.
paranormal
Like
entity that can't get a 40-year-old man.
She's got a one-track mind,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, she really
He's
needs
the
to get
one
a hobby.
he's the one that got away.
He's the one that got away.
But also the fact that these cops are like they still don't believe him because he's like the Tooth Fairy's real. She's after all of you, and she's scooping them up left and right, and the main cop guy is like, no, dude, you're wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't
he
believe
doesn't.
you.
They don't
Yeah,
believe
like
him.
I love how they're just shooting at this entity that's just floating above their heads, snatching them up, and they think that bullets are gonna help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a human thing too. Like, oh, this thing is clearly a spiritual entity, but my human bullets will definitely work.
Mhm.
I'd be like,
For
do we
sure.
have holy
Every time.
water? Let's try that first. You know what I mean?
Let's try praying. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try something out of the ordinary
Light a
first.
candle.
Yeah. Because I've never seen anything this I don't believe in Scooby Doo where this floating thing is a human.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right. I don't know why that is. My brain just automatically goes to like, oh, it's a demon.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it usually is a demon.
Right. I'm trying alternative routes. I'm shooting that thing with
I
holy
love it.
water. Yeah.
Get my squirt gun.
Yeah.
Hey, if there's a strange noise in my house, I instantly assume it's a demon, so I get it.
Right?
It's our horror loving
I see
brain.
you.
We're
Right.
hardwired.
Exactly.
We are the same. Speaking of things like that too, like going back to even just the beginning of this movie, like how do you feel? So anytime when I was little that there was like a scary sound or a bump in the night, the kid like so Kyle in the beginning, he hears like what he thinks is a tooth fairy and he throws the blankets over himself. I've never been a blankets over the head kind of gal. I just assume whatever's gonna get me is gonna get me. Did you ever pull the sheets
I mean,
over
I
your head?
assume that too. I
Right?
assume that they're gonna get me no matter what, but I'm still covering myself in blankets.
Are you?
Because at least I'll be cozy in my blankets. Yes.
While it's dragging me
No,
down the hall.
if I can't see them, they can't see me.
That's fair. That's fair. Me, I was like,
Yeah.
well, this is it, I guess. I gotta keep my
That
head
was
on
the
the
thought
swivel.
process too, believe me, but I'm just clutching onto those blankets so tight.
There
Like
you go.
that'll help.
That's true. I think I just like closed my eyes real tight and I was like, maybe if I pretend I'm asleep or dead, they'll leave me alone.
Yeah. I think I would
You
be
know?
like paralyzed with fear. I would just not move at all.
Yeah. I do love
Hold your breath.
Yeah.
Yes.
Meh.
Yes. Oh my God. Have you
Yeah.
this is like kind of off topic, but maybe it's just me. Have you ever practiced holding your breath for a really long time to see if you could pass as a dead body if you needed to?
Maybe. Actually, yeah.
As a
Right?
kid, I think I did. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if I had to play dead, I think I could do it.
Exactly.
I don't know though. I get those like twitch. If I twitch, I'd be a goner.
When
So
I would watch movies as a kid, I would always be like, "Oh, what like they should just play dead and then they'll like everything will be fine." And you could, because they're always running around screaming, crying, and breathing really loud. So it's like just play dead and you will be fine. But I say that and I don't think I could.
totally.
True.
It's so easy to watch something from the outside being like, "Oh, if had that been me, I would have handled it so much better," knowing I wouldn't have.
No, I'd be paralyzed with fear.
No,
Yes.
for sure.
I'd be
Dropping the
the
keys, tripping over
Yeah.
my feet.
Yes.
I'd be the person that everyone was screaming at to run, and I'd be like, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm the person that watches as something falls on top of me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, oh my God. So, okay. Back to this shitty movie.
Yeah.
Because I love that Kyle, once he sees the shootout with the Tooth Fairy and he just lets himself go, he's able to make it out somehow, despite it being dark. We have no idea how he makes it out. He makes it all the way to the hospital.
Which is crazy. The Tooth Fairy was so fixated on getting him from the police station, but then she, teleported her way over to the hospital. So she's not really after him. She's like after Michael too.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But like, I thought you wanted him so bad.
because of the end of this movie, the way they have to literally like jump from light source to light source to get out of the hospital,
Yeah.
it makes no sense to me that like the police station is engrossed in darkness because she's had him shoot all like the emergency lights out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet he makes it
Yeah.
out no problem, makes it all the way to the hospital where he is not confronted by any sort of security or locked doors or anything, and makes it all the way into the room where they have the deprivation tank.
You have this sensory deprivation thing, which is definitely like an MRI machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's
Like-
not a deprivation tank at all.
No.
Not at all. And it's so dramatic too, because he's like, let that kid out of there. And no one is like, get the hell out of here. They're like, okay. Like the doctors are like, whatever. What?
Yeah. How did he even know where they were?
Right.
Like, you know how hard it is to find anything in a hospital ever?
Yes. Yeah,
Well, and
exactly.
it's the other thing. This hospital is full of people, but you don't see any of them, like no other patients.
He literally just like let
Yeah,
himself
not
in.
once.
Not once.
Yeah.
I can't tell you
Yeah.
like at like one of our local hospitals, like Silver Cross, there's that whole like front desk there. They stop 3 people stop you immediately before you even reach the front desk. What are you here? What are you here for?
Oh,
What's your
yeah.
business? Yeah. But this Kyle guy, he's
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'll see myself. I know where I'm going.
Not in 2003. You
Yeah,
could
fair
just
enough.
walk in.
And well, that might be true actually. 2003.
People were less crazy?
I don't know. Security
I
wasn't so
don't
hot.
know.
They were still crazy.
Yeah.
They just didn't care as much.
True. That's why I'm like, I don't know if less crazy is the correct way to put it.
Exactly.
They were definitely crazy, I assure you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, that hasn't changed much.
that's true.
No.
Damn, 2003 was a different time.
Yeah. Well, so they all meet up in the hospital, and the Tooth Fairy is chasing them down the elevator shaft. She's really aggressive at this point. She's like ripping the roof off of the elevator. I mean, it's just like crazy. And then they meet up with the hospital staff, and basically one by one they get picked off and yeeted into nothing, like nothingness, because we never see the bodies ever again until they get to the lobby and the main cop who didn't believe him from the start, just plows through the lobby doors. Like drives that
Yeah.
truck through there.
I do love a headlight scare too, or you know.
Like you don't know for sure that's what's going on, and you're gonna drive through the hospital.
He's the police.
It's
Who
fine.
cares? Yeah.
It's fine.
It's literally it's no worries.
He might have killed a few people who might have been lingering in the lobby.
Well, they were in the way.
Yeah.
His mindset is literally like, yeah, honestly, fuck it.
Fuck front doors.
I just love like when they were back in the police station, because I think this cop that they're dealing with, I think his dad is also on the police force or whatever, because right before the Tooth Fairy starts the shootout with the police, it's like a stereotypical, like a line from any bad movie where you hear like a cop like, what the hell's going on in my town tonight? You know, I was like,
Yeah.
oh god.
Jesus.
I've heard that line
my God.
800 times, you know?
Yeah. It's a copy paste line.
Yeah. So this cop is just like, whatever, I'll just roll through the hospital.
Well, and what's crazy is when they get in the car, they're like, we need to go to the lighthouse because light, you know? But they have like, we have lanterns, but they're almost about to die. We have flashlights. Oh, but the batteries are out. We left the batteries in the other truck. Oh, like there's no amount of light in this town.
Right.
Everything is like just about to run out because that's like the only suspense they could possibly add.
And
Yeah, that's all they could think of.
Yeah.
and they never explain why they have to go to the like what does the lighthouse mean to the town,
Didn't
or
she live there?
this maybe.
I think
Well,
she
they
lived
said
there.
that she lived over there. Yeah, that's where
Okay.
she lived initially, yeah.
Oh, she lived in the lighthouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She lived near the lighthouse, yeah.
Okay. Must have missed that.
I think, well, she mentioned
They-
something
they
about there
could've-
being a
they-
generator.
Was that?
Yeah. Plus they could have reestablished that, you know, hey, she used to live there, so maybe go
Right.
there and
Yeah.
Maybe
But
add
no.
that line.
On her home turf.
Right, exactly. Quite interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, they get to the lighthouse and they're trying to light it, right? Because they're trying to get like the generator going. And this is when there's like the slivers of light that they have to run to before the cop gets taken.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know. This is like such a wild scene because yeah, like she's very selective. It's like there's a sliver of light here and they have to run, but they're like somebody gets injured. Oh, the girl gets injured because she has to jump down like I don't know, like three stories.
She's a waste.
They're always.
Yeah.
she is seriously a waste, yes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I guess I'll follow Kyle.
Right.
Ma'am.
Like do better. You have a brother that you're trying to care for, and the best you can do is like, ah. That's like all she does.
I'm just gonna listen to what this guy tells me and what this guy tells me, but I have no brain power whatsoever, other than to like initiate contact with Kyle after 12 years. No
Right.
clue where he ended up. Okay.
And she literally tracked it. She was like, "You're a hard man to get a hold of," but she does no research on anything else. Like, she worked so hard to find his phone number, and that's where her research stopped.
Yeah.
Just the phone number.
Yeah.
That's it.
She said, this man will
In
fix
a
all my
like
problems.
in a really shitty internet kind of world, like where it's very impressive she even got the phone number to begin with, that's all she could find.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing independent research on anything else. I'm good.
Or thought. I will not analyze this, whether it's a good decision or not. That's okay.
Not at all. Her
Come meet
fighter-
my brother.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I know that I kissed you one time when we were like 11 years old, but I really think that you should be my brother.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
weird. That's weird.
And
Yeah.
the amount of gasoline that they spill, because they have the lanterns, and they spill all the gasoline everywhere, and there's like flames. I just feel like they're really reckless.
Yeah, they're
I
not
like
careful.
the last part
Very.
because, yeah, I mean, there's like flames and gasoline everywhere. They're literally covered in gasoline, and they're more worried about her.
I would be too.
Well,
I'd rather set myself on fire.
well, this is the craziest part too, because they climb all the way to the top to turn the light on, because they're like, oh, well, this is going to be the salvation. This is going to be our salvation. The light comes on and then goes off. They're like, we have to go all the way back down. They tell Caitlin and her brother to stay at the top for God knows what reason, and they're armed with a dying lantern and a fucking glow stick.
Yeah, the glow stick.
The glow stick, like, are we
I
for
may
real?
be wrong, but aren't lighthouses built to where they can withstand loss of power if something happens? Like,
would
I
assume
thought so.
shouldn't
Yeah.
they? Evidently not in this town. Nothing works in this town.
Nothing
No.
works.
No, absolutely not. This
No.
Matilda Dixon, she's made sure of that. That's right.
She put these people on work.
Exactly. She said, not in my town.
She's picked off everybody. No one actually exists here. That's why we don't see the patients. There are none.
That makes sense. She's killed them all.
Right.
She's killed everyone.
And it's so, yeah, it's so crazy. This tiny little glow stick is like really doing things for them, but like,
But she ends up snatching Kyle.
well, and she snatches the cop too,
She-
who like the glow stick. I'm sorry. The glow stick is providing enough light for two people to not get snatched.
Mhm.
However, the lantern being maybe an arm's length away from this cop is enough for him to be snatched out of thin air. What are we talking about?
What is happening?
What are we doing?
I don't even know what's happening.
Make it make sense. Anyway.
You know what else doesn't make sense? So like when she has Kyle,
Mhm.
they end up getting the lighthouse to light up. Now, from my understanding, lighthouses like lights are so hot and like powerful. He would have been incinerated with her because he ends up flashing the light on her, and then
Yeah.
she like drops him. But I just feel like he would be burned. No,
He also like sets his arm on fire.
that too.
It's fine.
But
Don't
It's
worry about
fine.
Yeah. He said it's no worries.
It's just no worries.
It's honestly, it's no worries. I can do it. That's Kyle this whole movie. Oh, it's no worries. I can do it.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. And
Barely
like,
an inconvenience, I assure you.
exactly.
I did like when her mask fell off and it cracked into a bunch of teeth. That was cute.
That
I
was
did actually
cool.
like that. Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah.
I am confused though how like when they got the lighthouse to work, like the light, and she was in it and she like basically poofed into smoke. They were like, "Oh, that's it." And then she came back and then was literally fighting him in the light beam.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought,
Maybe it was your spirit or something. I don't know.
Right?
Listen, I don't know how to explain anything in this movie.
yeah,
Me neither.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, she like literally fucks off. They burn her ass to a crisp.
The town is saved, allegedly.
Yeah.
What's left of it? Yeah.
What's left of the town? All the cops are dead. All the hospital staff are dead.
Like, can we talk about that line too where what are they doing where she's like, "Oh, we should call the cops. They're dead. All of them?" Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy is just one-liners, I swear to God.
Yeah. Like when they're heading
It's so
down,
good.
it's like even when they're heading like down to fix the lighthouse or whatever, and that cop's like, "She's gonna kill us, isn't she?" And this guy's like, "Yeah." Oh, good. Oh, that's good.
And the last thing he ever says to her, the tooth fairy, he's like, "I see you, bitch."
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
Oh
Right.
my god.
You can,
What an
oh
incredible.
jeez. I can't believe this movie came into theaters, honestly. When you guys said that gagged me. I was like, seriously? This is like a made for sci-fi channel
Yes.
original film.
I agree.
This is a sci-fi original movie.
Lack of editing
This
really
definitely
shows.
is.
Yeah. No, this was
Yeah. The CGI, I was like, there's no way. There's no way they put this in theaters.
unfortunately people paid top dollar to see this on a Friday night, unfortunately.
I want my dollar
Man.
back.
Yeah.
Seriously.
This feels like if Hallmark was like, instead of cutesy movies, let's try a horror. You know?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it does.
Yeah.
And it The Darkness Falls, like that's such a Hallmark type thing.
It totally.
Honestly, though, it's a cool name for a town. Very goth. I like
It
it.
is.
Darkness Falls.
It's just, it feels like very like an 11-year-old goth girl, like in the town
Yeah.
of Darkness Falls.
Like someone's
okay.
fan fiction.
Exactly. I say
Oh
this
my
as an
God.
11-year-old goth girl that said
Who
in a
wrote fan
town
fiction.
called Darkness Falls. Yeah. So, if you had to rate this movie out of 5, what would you give this movie, Nina?
I don't know, like a 1 star, and that's being very generous, but it's mainly because I really like the opening section where we have the lore and the setup for the story, and I love the idea of this entity, and that's where it ends for me,
Yeah.
personally, just based off everything we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Feel that.
That fits.
How about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm definitely taking back my 3-star from my COVID watch. Apparently, I
It
thought
was the COVID that got
it
to your
was the
head.
COVID. I'm gonna say 2 stars. 1 for the opening, and 2 because it made me laugh
All right.
unintentionally, but it made me laugh. What about you?
I'm gonna go 2 out of 5 because I think there's worse movies. And I do really like the idea of this movie, and I really like the lore, and I really like the way that she looked. But everything else can eat
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, everything else.
Oh,
straight
for
up
sure.
sucks.
Yeah. So
Yeah, this is a movie to watch, like, if you're bored and you have nothing else to do and you just want something on in the background while you do something.
I agree.
Definitely. Or like if you're high and you're like, I really just need.
I need something.
Yeah, I need something.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is gonna heal me.
This is gonna make me shit my pants and laugh. Makes me
Oh,
feel
jeez.
things.
Oh my god.
I know. Well, do you have any final thoughts on Darkness Falls that you'd like to share?
I hope I never have to see it again.
Amen.
Darkness
Right,
is
you are.
falling on this one.
She already fell. She's gone.
She's gone. And on that note, we are gonna wrap it up over here.
Thank you
Fright
again
Mic,
for joining us.
Thank you for being here. We are honored to
Yeah,
have you.
absolutely. I'm happy to be here. We'll have to have you guys on our show sometime.
Oh
We
yeah.
would love that.
Speaking of your show, where can
Yeah.
people find your show?
Yes, Bloody Essentials podcast. That is on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. Google us. We're around.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Look them up. They are fantastic. They are a wonderful time. And we are honored to have you here. And until next time, I'm Sam.
And I'm Liz.
Rest in peace.